And this is the kind of narrative that was 10 years ago. Shallow drilling, the pits were shallow, and everyone sort of hopped on that bandwagon ever since then. And so when I saw that, I thought, oh, I haven't seen that for a while.
For a while, exactly. And that's very true. Like, it's actually hard to find a project that has there's a clear reason why it hasn't been explored properly. And so here, the previous owner, like, it was a producing mine. The plant that they had was configured only for oxide ore. So the whole focus of previous work was just to drill and find gold in the oxide layer. As soon as they hit fresh rock, they were not interested. As soon as they hit base metals or copper or anything else, not interested. So I think the average drilling depth is 42 metres across the entire area. We have 31 historic pits, about 72 kilometres of strike, an existing resource of just under 1 million ounces, and there's just hardly any deep exploration. And you understand why. Like, if you're feeding a mill, that is the focus of what you're doing. Where they did drill deeper holes, and I had a closer look, there's about 9 holes that go deeper than 400 metres, which is hardly any, considering it's 804 square kilometres. But of those 9 holes, most of them extend the known resources. I know it's such a cliche, open at depth, but our resources actually are open at depth. Quite a few of them, we've modelled them up and the grade increases with depth. We just released some drilling results yesterday where we've extended one of the resources to the north, and we've shown that the actual mineralised body has at least another 150 metres of depth extent, still open. So it really is a remarkable opportunity. We understand why it wasn't drilled to depth before, but we're now working through the projects, and our goal is to reach 2 million ounces by the end of next year. And I think it's ambitious, but it's achievable. We have built up a solid team on site. We still have the plant, so of course we could use that later if we wanted to, but our entire focus now is on increasing the resource. We're not concerned about where the mill is, we just want to find as much gold as possible before the end of next year with regular updates and appropriate releases.
I think that's one of the things only sort of us technical people are going to pick it up, or guys who've been prospecting and looking. When I look at that map, and we had this conversation over the phone the first time we talked, and I said, oh, you're next to Golden Grove. And then I thought, hang on, you're right next to these people. And I can see the amount of drilling which you just spoke about.
Yeah.
So that whole area, anyone would have thought this is a fantastic thing. Down deep, upstrip, downstrike, whatever it is a really good location, right? Whether you find, but at least you know there's a system in place that's cooking something.
Exactly.
I think that's really important to highlight.
Absolutely. Well, the whole Golden Grove is, I think, 3 kilometres from our tenement boundary. The rocks that host Golden Grove track onto our ground. Our ground has never been systematically explored for copper. It's quite remarkable. So we've flown an airborne EM survey recently where we're getting the results soon. We're working through that. On top of having Golden Grove right next door, we've got a historic copper mine on our ground. It's called Warriedar Copper. We don't know much about it at all. We know it was mined in the 50s and 60s. We've located a few of the drill holes. Completely not, like, there's no JORC compliance. We don't really know the extent of it. So we've got the Warriedar copper mine, we've got Golden Grove right there, we've got Deflector in the next belt, Silver Lake's copper gold mine, and then, interestingly, Capricorn Metals Mount Gibson Gold Project just to our south, in the same rocks, the same structure. Now it's a gold project, but it started its life, according to the academics, as a VMS system with gold. Gold came in later, like it was overprinted. So the whole VMS copper base metal potential is live and active in the belt. And I love that aspect of our project. Like, yes, gold is 100% our absolute focus, but in parallel, we're chasing the base metals and the copper. I believe we can do both, and I believe we've got good potential to find some copper resources. Fields fine, so our project is broken into two parts. There's the Golden Range, which is the long, skinny sort of north-south project on the west, and that has most of the existing resource. And that's very much a gold play, or I would argue also base metals. But the part that's really interesting is the Fields Fine project over to the east. It's a layered ultramafic intrusion in a greenstone. It's got this whole corridor with elevated copper, gold, nickel, PGEs. At the end of it is that historic Warriedar copper mine. On the far eastern side is a small JORC gold resource. We've got a drill rig going out there next week to start drilling there. And that, we call it the Fields Fine Enigma. It is incredible. Like, I don't know what's going on there, but I do know that you've got this whole interplay of different commodities. It's a mess geologically, which is exactly what you want, for targeting. So I'm particularly excited about what we can achieve there, and we'll explore that area in parallel with the gold potential along the main belt.